Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another discussion and demonstration that will talk about vectors in general. Let me just somehow refresh you what are the things that I have mentioned on the previous video. It says about different advantages or similarities of a vector data type, that it's very similar to your one-dimensional array. And some similarities are um, it stores the elements in a contiguous memory location. You can use array subscript operator, which is the flat brace to define for how to access individual elements. It holds for what? Sequence of values or elements. So those are similarities of vectors. And you also have some advantages, which I mentioned on the previous video, but I'm going to go through some of them. What's nice about, or what's one of the advantages of vectors to arrays, you don't have, if you add a value to a vector that is already full, the vector will automatically increase the size to give way or to accommodate to that new value, right? You can report, vectors can report the number of elements that they contain. What else? You don't have to declare the number of elements that the vector will have. So how to define a vector? If you can see here on my screen, notice that you have your number include, number sign include vector. You need to be able to include the vector header file in your statement, right? To have that work. Vector declaration creates multiple variables in your memory and each accessible using the .at format, right? So if I'm going to go through this one, notice, oh, I should have put like a double speed in here. But let's see. Look at that. And it's assigning the numbers or the values, all right, and then return. Okay, so this is what I really like about our, our reference, that you can see how it's simulating, right? Let's see in here. Vectors if element can be directly accessed using the .at oldest people program. So if you can see in here, um, the vector header file has to be included, and in some of the definition you have here for 5, and then to be able to access those, I think that's similar to this as well. It's going to show you the different values that was actually stored, right? And you can have that one as part of your if, or your if else, or even for your loop. So we're going to have a video for that, right? So moving forward, let me try to have this challenge activity for you. And when you simulate this one, in fact, it might actually change. It goes exactly to the challenge activity, but you know what? I think I would love to have some of the participation activities first. I'm going to exit the presentation view so that, oops, I'm just too fast, so that we can review before we go over your, what's that? We can go over your challenge activities, right? So let me go at the very top. Yeah, there you go. I missed this part. Perfect. So let's talk about a couple of things in here. You have a given vector, the data type in there, and you can see some of the given values. So it's asking in here, how many elements do you think, right? It says how many elements that the vector declaration create. What do you think is the answer in there? Now, keep in mind that this one is very similar to your array. So I'm just going to answer 4 in here and then I'll explain. Perfect. So declaration creates vector year list with 4 elements. The elements indices will be 0, 1, 2, and 3. So this one also started with 0. So please don't confuse yourself with that. That's why you have all of those elements, right? So question number 2, with what value is years list.at1 assigned, right? So this one is what? This is 2012, which was actually indicated in there. So far, we're doing pretty good. So question number 3, what do you think is the answer for this one? With what value does cur year equals years list dot at sub 2 assign cur year or curr year? What do you think for that? So this one from the given, let me go back at the top so you can see at the top part. For question number 3, this one you're assigning, you see years list dot at sub 2, that's 2025. Woohoo, there you go. So far we're doing pretty good there. Question number 4, is cur year equals years list dot 4 dot at sub 4 a valid statement? What do you think? So keep in mind that the index, so valid indices starts with what? With 4. Now this one, this is actually not. This is that. There you go. So far we're doing really good in here. The valid indices start at 4, so the 4 elements are 0, 1, 2, and 3. Accessing the years list.at sub 4 will cause an error. Why? Because obviously it started with 4, so it ends with 3. Question number 5 in there, what is the proper way to access the first element? So I think this is an obvious answer because of what? The index. So this is um, the option number 2. Okay. So question number 6. What are the contents of a vector if the above code is followed by the statement years list.at sub 0 equals years list.at sub 2? What do you think about that? So let me go at the top again so you can see the given. This is the given in here. So what is that? Let me just think about that first. So this one, what was that question? What are the contents of the vector if the above code is followed by years sub 2? So what is the top? 2020. Okay, so 2025. And then the next is 2012. And then it goes, hold on, let me check that again. I think this is the one. I think the last one is the answer. Whew, there you go. 2025, 2012, 2025, 0. Each element is its own variable and can be read and assigned just like any other variable. So you're assigning years list.at sub 2 to what? To years list.at sub 0. All right. So question number 7, I think that's the last one right there. And then we can go forward, right? What do you think is the answer for that? What is the index of the last element for the following vector? Here's a given, and obviously it's like 100 elements, and the indices will be 0 to 99. So that's going to be 99 here. Yes, there you go. So there you have it, my dear students. So if you are actually answering some of those participation activities, I hope you're getting it correct. I know you can see the answer, but it's important that you try to go back and understand why. Right? So let's take a look in here. So let's try to figure out using an expression for a vector index. So it says in here, a powerful aspect of vectors is that the index is an expression um, and it's given in here, uses the value. As such vector, a vector is useful to easily look up the nth item in the list. Let's take a look at what's happening in here. So there's a given, the program quickly accesses the nth oldest person's age using oldest people.at, the nth person minus 1. Alright, so let's see, because the vector's indices start at 0. Okay. So oldest people is 5. So you have what? Oh, you have your if condition in there. All right, so let's try to see and let's try to simulate. I can't split my screen, but you can always, I'm going to go back and forth with this one. So I'm going to try to just have my screen just like that first so I can see the top. The question in here is, what did it say? If the program above, in the program above, what is the purpose of this check? So there's an if condition. Um, Basically, if you use this if in here, you have your logical. This one, This is not to avoid overflow. This one, I'm going to choose the question. I'm going to choose, this is like asking, why is this? What is the purpose of this? Based from this, I'm going to answer this. This is for validity, right? There you go. If the nth person is greater than or equal to 1 and the nth person is less than or equal to 5. So, I mean, keep in mind if you have a logical operator, both statements has to be true. So the user enters 1 to 5, which is converted to what? 0 to 4 when accessing the vector's 5 elements. So this is to ensure only valid vector elements are accessed because the vector oldest people only has 5 elements, which is actually given at the top. All right. So let's see. Question. How many questions do we have? I think we have about 3 or 5 questions in there. Let's have the next one. 7.2.4 vector declaration. This is pretty important. So when you have your declaration, so it says that we need to declare a vector named myvals that stores 10 items of type int. So we need what? Vector. It's not a capital letter. Vector. I have int. I have myvals. So keep in mind to be consistent, and it says 10 semicolon, right? So let's check that. There you have it. So I'm just kind of going to answer some of the things in here that I think is right. Um, and then let's see. Hopefully I get everything right. This is also a good check for, like an impromptu answer. So assign x with the value stored 8, index 8 of vector myvals. So x equals myvals dot at, and there's like a size 8. All right, let's check that. Oh, all right. Well, thank you. I've missed my semicolon. All right, there you go. Let's put that semicolon in there and check again. Perfect. So I type too fast, and sometimes I do that quite often. Um, and forget my semicolon, right? So this is what's nice about the participation activities. You can always see that, oh, why did it give me a wrong answer? And then because of that semicolon, right? So question 3, given my vowels has 10 elements, assign the last in my vowels with the value 555. All right, so that's pretty easy. My vowels dot at, and let's have 9. Why? Because you have what? You have overall 10 elements. I'm assigning this one on the last element. Keep that in mind. So it ends on the last, which is 9. 555, semicolon. I am not forgetting my semicolon. There you go. There you go. That is correct. So, question number 4, it says in here, assign my vowels element at the index held in cur index with a value 777. All right, let's think about that. Cur index. Okay, so that's my vowels dot at cur index, and then I have to assign that 777. Oops, 777. There you go. I thought I lost it for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna check my answer. There you go. So that's correct. I think this is the last question for that 7.2.4. Assign temp val. What is that? Assign temp val with the myvals element at the index 1 after the value held in variable I. Huh, that's challenging. Assign temp val. So let me just type temp val. Temp val equals what? Assign temp val with myvals element at the index 1. So myvals. So let's type in my vowels that, excuse that background noise, that's my ice maker portable machine making that sound. My vowels.at. Assign temp vowel, so I have temp vowel with my vowels element at the index 1 after the value held in variable I. So this might be adding 1 in here, so it can be I plus 1. Let's try that. Um, all right. So I'm not losing my answer. There we go. Check. Oh, all right. That is sweet again. I forgot again my semicolon. All right. But at least my answer is correct, right? I'm going to put a semicolon in here. I'm going to check. All right. The expression I plus 1 is evaluated and the result is used as the vector index. All right. So far, so good. I hope you are able to go through with some of the participation activities. How did I do? I think that's about 90% good, right? I'm just missing my semicolon. This is a good check as well for some of the participation activities that I would like impromptu answers. So I hope you find this video helpful. I'm going to go through some other videos to help you with your challenge activities. I have assigned 2 sections for that. So I'll see everybody on the next. You have a wonderful day.